primarily for one of two: to gain more pleasure or avoid pain. It's very, very simple. So when somebody does something, I see people striving to be important, all I know that they're saying is, I don't feel important, so I need you to tell me. Whether it's significance, love, contribution, what they're looking for is so easy to start pinpointing with people when you get a chance to see their behaviors and what they talk about. But it's interesting because most people don't want to deal with the dark stuff. Reminds me of a story. There's a state trooper driving on an old highway. One of those ones with the big street lamps every mile or so. And the state trooper drives, and all of a sudden, he sees this street lamp, and there's this woman, and she's kind of wandering around, and he pulls over, and he asks this old grandmother, he says, "Excuse me, ma'am, what, are you okay?" And she was like, I lost my keys. And he goes, "Oh, okay, well, let me help you find them." So they start scrummaging around, and they're looking all over, and it's pitch black out, and they're underneath this street lamp in the middle of nowhere, and he's looking around, and he can't find the keys. Where are his keys? And she's looking, and they're looking, and then he thinks to himself, he's like, "Wait a minute, we're in the middle of nowhere." He looks at her, he goes, "Man, where's your car?" And she goes, "Oh, it's down there about half a mile." And he goes, well, where did you lose your keys?" And she was like, "By my car." And he goes, "Well, why are we looking over here?" And she said, "Because it's dark over there." I can't see. See, it's easy to search for things in the light. It's searching for the things in the dark places that we don't want to even go to. That is going to be the experience of fighting this battle that you're going to have. Because your enemy in this business is not the external opponent, it's the internal one. As we say, it's not the enemy, it's the inner me that will be your biggest challenge here. It's the fight with yourself. And you know this. You are so much harder on yourself than other people are on you. How many of you guys would have been willing to admit this? I mean, it's funny how you'll criticize others, but you'll beat yourself up over and over and over and over and over about stuff that happened decades ago. How's that helping you today? The biggest challenge that people have is through this self-talk, is they create these labels for themselves. As they go through life, something happens, and all of a sudden they create this label for themselves, like, "I'm shy." And just get stuck. And then they create another one, like, "Oh, well, I'm not good enough for that." Or, "No, I'm not a good talker." Or, "I can't present." Or, "Why should this happen for me?" Or they create these labels and they stick themselves with these labels. And then they walk around and they forget that you were the one that originally put it on in the first place. And it's almost like looking through life with yellow sunglasses. See, when you're born with pure vision. You see everything. And then all of a sudden through time we start taking on these personalities and these personas that aren't even really us. It was something that was given to us by our circumstances, our environment, our parents, our teachers, our educational system, something of the sorts. What will happen is it's like you put on these yellow glasses, and for a while the world looks yellow until you forget you're wearing glasses. And then you think that's the way the world is. But the interesting fight happens when you try to find out, like, who am I really? And that's an interesting conversation. Who am I really? Am I really this? Am I really that? Am I really this? People say I'm shy. Really? I would love to see your birth certificate where it says shy. Low self-esteem. Insecure. Please show me a child that was born with those things. No. We develop them. And it's when we start deciding for ourselves that we can be something more, that we can be something different. But the challenge is that usually, unfortunately, when we want things to be better, when we make a decision, we're going to change our lives, we're going to do more, we're going to create more, we're going to grow, we're going to expand, when we get tested, just like Dan was tested in this experience, it says you're going to have some courage. Unfortunately, sometimes we're not always paying attention, and sometimes past experiences, because the things you've done in the past sometimes have residual effects in your future. How many of you guys know this? Yes? Because you show up here, just because you make the right decisions today doesn't mean that the decisions you made for years aren't going to still affect you right now. And so sometimes, unfortunately, before things can get better, sometimes they tend to get worse.